Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and I finally watched Princess Mononoke. This was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. We all know who he is by this point. And the English cast includes Billy Bob Thornton, Claire Danes, Minnie Driver, and Keith David. It tells the story of a young prince named Ashitaka, who gets caught in the middle of a very violent conflict between a human village known as Irontown and the forest that neighbors it. This is the first Miyazaki movie that I've covered in this segment in a really long time, and man, I'm glad he came back for this, because I honestly missed him. I think the last movie of his I covered was Porco Rosso, and I think that movie's underrated. But I've noticed that, after Porco Rosso, Ghibli took like a noticeable dip in quality. Not a big one, but kind of a like it's a small thing. Things have just now gotten on track, at least for me, with Whisper of the Heart. And yeah, Princess Mononoke is excellent. In my research, I found that Miyazaki had the rough idea for this just as he was starting out in the early 70s. But kind of similar to when Christopher Nolan came up with Inception in 2001, Miyazaki just wasn't really skilled enough to pull it off, so he put this idea on the shelf for the time being. Finally coming back to it in about mid-1994, but then realizing that he had to do a lot of retooling to the script because a lot of the themes that were shown in his original Mononoke script were already done in My Neighbor Totoro, which that movie's excellent in its own right. But not only is Princess Mononoke one of Ghibli's most successful films, it made around 2 billion yen at the box office, which that's a lot of money, but it's also considered by fans to be one of Ghibli's very best. And yeah, I can't argue with that stance because, like I said earlier, this movie is excellent. I feel like I should put a lower third or something saying the animation is great, because I feel like I say that in every one of these Ghibli videos, but I'm sorry to be a broken record, but the animation in this movie is great. And in my research I found that this was all hand-drawn. It's not like a mix of computer and hand-drawn. No, this was all hand-drawn. And while this would eventually lead to this movie being one of the most expensive movies ever made in Japanese movie history, it was worth it. In my research, I found that Miyazaki wanted to create a feeling that was created by John Ford in the days of The Searchers and A Quiet Man, creating its own little pocket universe with factions and towns and just other groups of people just going after each other. And the influence is certainly there. I've also noticed that whenever Miyazaki was in the director's chair for any one of these given movies, I've often found that he either takes it upon himself or is given the more fantastical elements. Even in a movie like Porco Rosso, which takes place in 1930s Italy, the main character looks like a pig, and the movie shows that was a curse put on the main character. The point I'm trying to get at is that the big two at Ghibli, or at least the big two that I've covered, Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata, Miyazaki covered the more fantastical stuff, and Takahata was tasked with the more reality-based stuff. And I think they both handled their respective sects of the Ghibli universe incredibly well, and that goes double for Mononoke. But the music combined with the animation in this movie, the music especially, reminded me a lot of Lord of the Rings. And I don't think that was definitely on purpose, because the Lord of the Rings movies wouldn't be released until 2001, 2, and 3. But there was definitely an epic sense of whimsy to it. I'm sure that makes sense, right? And I have to say that this is the most violent Ghibli movie that I've covered probably since Grave of the Fireflies, because Ashikata, at some points, because he's an archer, he shoots his bow and arrow, and he literally takes limbs off. Limbs plural. And the movie does a good job of showing that he's cursed, so and because of that curse, it is killing him, but it's also giving him super strength. But at the same time, when I saw that first arm get, like, shot off with an arrow, or people getting stabbed in an attack, I was just sitting there like, this is definitely a family picture. And I'm not trying to condemn anyone in any sense, I'm just saying, it was a little shocking to me. Because Ghibli movies, even in their violence, are shown as like they turned violent, that is not the answer. These are very passive movies. Again, I hope that makes sense, and I hope I'm not off base. I also quite enjoyed the English cast. There were definitely some weird choices, at least in my opinion. Like, having Billy Bob Thornton in here just... I don't know, that just seems bizarre to me. It's like having Nicolas Cage in one of these movies. Like, you can try and make him like a different character, but like, those two have distinctive voices, and that goes double for Billy Bob Thornton. But my favorite voice actor of this bunch was Claire Danes as the princess. Like, she was great. Come to think about it, I think my favorite actors of, like, these Ghibli movies have been, like, the main female characters. Is that coincidence? I don't think so. And it's pretty easy to understand what this movie is trying to say. In my research, I found that Miyazaki basically made this as like a story about humans versus nature, and them trying to find like some kind of balance, or not necessarily balance, but trying to carve out something for themselves. And it would have been so easy for this movie to be like, humans bad, nature good. There are much worse movies that do that, and it is cringeworthy every time. But Miyazaki did a great job of not necessarily making out one enemy. Like, both nature and the humans they have their low moments in this movie. Again, no spoilers. There is a lot of lore in this movie, especially when it comes to the nature gods. But I think if you just keep in mind to yourself that this movie is about humans and nature and trying to find a balance, then I think you'll be okay. And at the end of the day, when people say that this is one of Ghibli's very best, I can definitely side with them. Because in terms of animation, story, voice acting, this is definitely Ghibli clicking on all cylinders. But that is all for me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next time on this channel, next Sunday, I should say, I'm going to be dropping a bit of a different type of video for the channel, because I normally don't do countdown videos unless it's a Movie Nerds Club video, but I'm going to make an exception, because I recently stumbled upon a lot of animated Batman movies, and so next Sunday, I feel like doing a top 10 Batman animated movies video. So that's what I'm going to do. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam. I'll see you in the next one.